All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my review for The Walking Dead Season 11 Part 3. This is for episode 18 now, A New Deal. Alright, dudes and possible spoilers for the second episode now for part 3 of The Walking Dead Season 11. Now, this one got a little bit confusing with respect to AMC premiere. So, the premiere episode, episode 17 for part 3, was released same day on AMC premiere, but then they released episode 18 with it, I guess a week early on premiere. So on premiere day, you get both episodes if you got AMC Plus / AMC Premiere. So a few people asked for it. We'll go ahead and post the review for it now for A New Deal. You do get both episodes if you're on Premiere. So for those people, if you haven't, if you're watching it regular, then maybe wait till next week to watch this, because this review will contain spoilers, because there is some really good stuff in episode 18, actually. I would even say it's probably better than episode 17. This one's a bit unexpected, especially as we get closer to the end of the episode with A New Deal. It starts off a little bit kind of slower, and that as you have kind of well, not slower at the very beginning, because you have kind of the cliffhanger continuation of what happens with Lance and Daryl. Pamela arrives, Mercer arrives, and Carol is there to luckily to call Daryl down, because Daryl is close to possibly killing Lance. Instead, he decides to just stab him in the hand and give him back over after Carol kind of talks him down. So from episode 17 into this one, they're going to be using Lance as the fall guy to kind of take the blame for everything that's sort of gone wrong at the Commonwealth, and also with Sebastian, so that Sebastian can kind of be somewhat saved. And like I said, spoilers, very unexpected kind of turn of events by the end of the episode here. But we are getting close to the end of the Walking Dead series, so you would expect to see the pacing a little bit picked up from the prior 8 episodes. I feel like these 8 episodes, after seeing the first 2, have a better pacing than part 2 of The Walking Dead Season 11. And I'm thinking, like, with only 6 episodes left after this episode, it's going to be difficult for them to kind of maybe give us everything we would want to see for the ending of The Walking Dead. There's also an article that says that they've already changed the final scene in the last episode. So maybe they filmed the whole thing, they're cutting it up, they're getting ready to show these episodes, and they're still deciding on like which scene should be the final cap off for the Walking Dead television series. So it's going to be hard for them, I think, to wrap up all loose ends and give the Walking Dead series a really good ending by its 8th episode. But we still have 6 episodes to see that play through. And in this one, we do see the death of Sebastian unexpectedly, but in a way that I think was really well done and very satisfying, that he is kind of a spoiled brat. So this episode plays through like Lance is going to be the fall guy. It looks like Sebastian is going to, not have to take any of the heat for what's happened and will be in a good spot. All he has to do is give sort of a speech. But he's sort of compromised in this episode prior, because Maxine has a tape recorder when she's talking to him, and kind of goats him into, talking about the Miltons and the Commonwealth and the regular people. So he says some things on the recorder that are not good. Then they use that at the end of the episode to kind of play that through the speaker, and sort of all hell breaks loose as you have what we discovered to be Lance's agents, the girl who was Stephanie and the guy who looks like Triple H, kill a bunch of survivors, like the janitorial and the maintenance people, and they turn into walkers by the end of the episode, while there is a kind of a circus going on. So it's cool what she kind of does here, what Pamela does after all the craziness that happens just recently in episode 17. She uses kind of a circus and a wrestling match, which is funny to see in the original Walking Dead series, but it makes perfect sense why she does it, to kind of get the people's minds off of what's been happening. And then they run like a lottery, and there's part of the recording where Sebastian says in it that the lotteries are all fixed and that Pamela actually just picks the winner and that it's not genuine. So this just makes the people even more angry. And then you have all these walkers come in at the end of the episode, as a result of what Lance's agents, I guess, kind of do, which is a really nice setup. So we get the idea that not everybody in the Commonwealth is totally loyal to the Miltons. And actually Lance has his own little faction that's working covertly right now to kind of mess things up and almost overthrow Pamela. And in this case does kind of take out the next generation, with Sebastian being bitten as a result of a scuffle when he goes to confront Maxine. And then you have Eugene, who kind of side checks a walker away from her, and it gets onto him. Nobody is willing to help Sebastian, so he ends up being bitten and dying as a result of the walker fight. So this one is really great, very exciting, and it definitely was an intense ending. I want to say I like the way they used the music and really building intensity in this one, and it actually ended up being better, I think, than episode 17, just with the way things ended and how it sets things up at the Commonwealth with Pamela. I would expect after this to become completely unhinged and to want to, and they've kind of shown this in the preview, to want to hunt Eugene down as a result of what happened with Sebastian in this one. But it's really great. I enjoyed the wrestling scene. I like that Daryl's like watching it like this is stupid. But from a perspective of giving the people the bread and circuses, or giving the people something kind of fun to get their minds off of what's happened with all the others, it makes all the sense in the world for them to do that. There's also some good stuff in this one with Daryl kind of being sort of a fatherly figure for Judith, and him kind of struggling to kind of connect with her and do so. In that, there's a mention of Rick, which I enjoy very much. You get the Colt in this one where she doesn't really want it, and then she takes it back and uses it to kill some walkers near the end. So it's really touching stuff with Judith and Daryl, in that he's kind of taken on this fatherly role for her. And, we don't often get to see it that much, because in The Walking Dead, you have so many, like all the zombies and all the action and, survival concentration, that we don't often get to see that. But I thought the scenes with Judith and Daryl were really good. She kind of runs off, and there's a lot of danger, so it's exciting. And then he has to kind of go and sort of talk her back. Talks about a river where he used to go to with his dad, where he would kind of run away and stuff. So it's really cool stuff, man, to see some of these scenes. I like the candy apple with Lance, who's kind of got this candy apple there, and he kind of knows what's going to be happening, but a lot of the others don't. And so it's really good. He bites into the candy apple at the end with the Two-Face thing with him going, where he's got the cut on the one side of his face. Really cool. People calling for justice and everything like that, and just the unrest at the end is really exciting. So that's most of what I want to say about this episode. You do get kind of the split off with Aaron and some of the others leaving to possibly encounter the variant of walkers or what have you, which is really cool. But the big thing about this episode is what happens with Sebastian. It does look like if they continue the pacing that they've done in these two episodes, by the end of the season, it looks like it's going to be, a good ending for Walking Dead. Should be really exciting and everything like that. But at the same time, as I'm watching the episodes through, I also feel like I understand why they're kind of ending off the series at this point. Because if you look at the episodes and all the characters that are in it, I was just thinking, if someone wanted to jump in and start watching Walking Dead now, they would have absolutely no idea what's going on. They wouldn't understand, the backstory for everybody. They wouldn't understand. So there's just so much that each year, as you're doing additional seasons, you're putting it at a point where the amount of episodes people would have to see in order to kind of understand all the characters, even if they haven't watched it for a few years, they wouldn't really understand Magna, Yumiko, the others they added on. They wouldn't really understand Judith. They wouldn't really. So there's so many things that occur that it does make sense to kind of wrap up the series and then do the spin-offs in the way you want to do it. because the jumping on, like, it'd be really difficult to jump on and watch some of these new episodes and really get a grasp of everything that's happening. So that's going to be it for this review. I thought this episode was even better than episode 17. I'm going to give it a perfect 10 out of 10 for A New Deal. Awesome stuff with the political stuff and everything with Lance and the others. The wrestling stuff was funny, particularly Daryl's reaction to it, which I enjoyed. And surprising ending to the episode, but really awesome. And also kind of a check for me as I'm watching through these first 2 episodes. They're great and everything, but there's so many characters and so much backstory to each character that almost a viewer would have to understand in order to really enjoy the episodes all the way through, to really understand that it does make sense that we're seeing the original series wrap up now at this point, because it is so many episodes, hard to keep up every year, and if people fall behind, they wouldn't really understand so much of what's happening, right? So, but this is an awesome episode. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was even better than episode 17. Very surprising, but we don't have that much time left, so kind of have to do that, right? Comments below, what did you guys think about it? And thumb the video up below. Subscribe at the bottom if you're new. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev. I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.